Hey guys, Mike here. So, oh boy, what a day in the market, right? I mean, they ramped this baby up into quarter in and took no prisoners, right? I mean, the bears, if you were short going in this thing, oh my goodness, it was rough, right? I mean, I'm gonna tell you something. This has been such a crazy quarter. Think about what's happened over the last 10 years, especially when it comes to technology and technology stocks. This quarter right here was the second greatest quarter the QQQ has had in the last decade. Take that in mind now. That would put us back to 2012-ish, 13-ish, somewhere in that range. We had a huge sell-off in 2015, 16, had a huge sell-off in 2018, 2020, and this is the second greatest quarter in the last 10 years through all of that. That's how crazy this quarter has been in front of all this mess we're in, right? And these unforeseen, times we're in, I guess, where even you got the Fed president saying no models are working and everybody, what's up is down and all this other crazy mess, right? And I mean, we're going to get into that. And what I tell you today, I said, watch 2 p.m. And I'm going to show you that on the charts. I'll also show you another stock to make sure you're watching out for because it's definitely on the move. But, understand we got some data out today and other things happen as well. And I'm going to start off with a good laugh. I always like to have a good laugh, especially on Fridays. Look at this hot mess. This is the Fed balance sheet. Oh, look, there was a decrease this last week. That would be this week. Look at the increases the 2 weeks before. Like, that is a blip on the radar. That is crazy, man. And I mean, of course, what else we need to be looking out for is this right here. And this is what I've been talking about. This is going to make a difference. Small businesses that are feeling these credit conditions, right? Which means they can't get the loans and the money they need to run the companies. And you can see, and this is what we talked about with all of these banks taking out these loans from the Fed, are they going to start loaning out or just hold on to it, right? And you can see major tightening. Okay, I'll show you this is what's been happening. But when you compare it to 08, it's nothing compared to 08. And what's even more shocking when I look at this chart, look at the dot-com bubble, the whole thing. I mean, after the first real pull down there in 2000, it kind of stabilized, right? But 08 obviously was a huge, big deal. I mean, obviously a financial crisis. But, and we're going to see, and that's the big thing about this money going out. Are they going to loan it out or just hold on to it and use it for basically their own purposes to invest it or whatever? We're going to have to see because the lifeblood of the country is small businesses. Now, what's helping this rally? Obviously, you got the 2-year yield under the Fed funds rate, but also we have core CPE, which came out today. It is below the Fed funds rate. And so we need to see if they're going to try to get headline CPI under the Fed funds rate or just be satisfied with core CPE, right? And the surprise I got today was this actually increasing. So the market expectations for May 3rd's Fed funds meeting, right? Well, they say about 53%. It's like a 50-50 deal here, but there's at least a 50% chance they're going to raise by 25 basis points. And of course, with all this going on that I just showed you, the bulls are dancing, the market's going up, and the bears are kind of disappearing right now. And if you get anything out of this, guys, please hit that like and subscribe button. I really appreciate it. And if you're new, think about subscribing. If you like this content, I really appreciate your support. And we'll definitely get to find out, because I'm going to show you these charts, where the bulls and bears lie, because understand we're going to a short week next week because Friday will be closed for Easter, of course, to observe Easter. And so usually some people don't like to play around in a short week, but also because quarter has ended, right? So we'll be starting a whole new quarter, all right? And so you've seen this. I don't care whether it's weekly OPEX, monthly OPEX, quad witching, quarter ending, all this reallocation, buying, selling, all this stuff, this is when you get to see, remember what I was harping on, was it December or whatever it was, January, it was January. When we went this crazy rally, I said, we'll get to see what happens when all the short selling or short covering is done and all this other crazy mess. And we end up basically just in a zone, right? Well, it'll be chop box for what seemed like forever, but it was only like 2 months. And so now all of a sudden, we're starting to break up, coming into quarter end. So now we get to see next week what's going to happen. But what was crazy, when you looked today and you looked at your phone, or you looked at your charts, you would really think, when I looked at it, that technology, because the Q's had a great day, its best quarter, was just crushing it. It had to be the #1 sector. And it's been very strange the last 3 days because absolutely not. Matter of fact, you can't even see tech right now on this screen. But again, the top one, don't pay attention to that. That's just a triple leverage bond ETF. But the rest of them, look at all these sectors that are above tech today. It did really well. And again, this was another, basically all sectors green and stuff. Real estate's still up there in the top 4, right? It's consumer discretionary, industrials, you name it. And there's tech, right? I mean, and so, again, right below it is the industrials. And so you wouldn't think that. Right below that's financials. But again, everything, healthcare, it didn't matter what it was, is green. But you would have thought tech would have been just killing it because a lot of, especially high beta stuff, was up double digits today, which is kind of crazy. I almost think that's short covered anything else. But they were up double digits, right? And when you look at the charts, you can see there's the SPY. This is key right here, right? So you got your MACD is going to be crossing over that zero line, right? Continuing that move up. Plenty of room in the RSI on the daily. You can see right here, it's getting right at that level, which is a very key level to try to break above. That was the double top level around the 410, 411 area. If the bulls want to take control, they need to get it and close it above like 411.50 or something like that is the range to watch. And then they will be in control for the short term for sure, and bears won't be very happy. And if we look at the shorter time frame, I told you 2 o'clock, right? This thing was heading down, sideways, doing nothing. And 2 o'clock hits, actually 157 to be exact. And that's when the move up started. And you look at that, just ramped it on through, man. Why? Because most people are out of the market. The options are already expired or sold and everything. People are just done with it and already left their computers. And it just got ran up, right? And so that's what you always go out for. Not saying it's going to go up all the time. It can go down as well, right? This happens. Depends on where the options are and where they're trying to set you up going into next week maybe, right? Now, also understand this. Here is your daily time frame. What are the bears expecting? They're expecting a head and shoulders. They're trying to see if this head and shoulders plays out. Again, when you look at a chart, you can see a rainbow. You can see a head and shoulders. You can see an inverse head and shoulders. But that right there looks like the right shoulder is trying to play out. Again, that's what I'm saying. 411.50, 60 or somewhere in there is what to watch. And you can see what they're looking at. So, okay, we went up, beam, came down, went up, there's the head, came back down. This is how stocks move. We go up, we're trying to fill out this right shoulder, and bam. And they're expecting, if this played out, it would put us down to around 360 or somewhere there, which I can't even imagine. But, in this market, who knows? But that's what the bears are expecting. And the bulls want to be above 411.60, all right? The Qs real quick, huge breakout above that trend line. That was major, major resistance. Big move, huge candle. You can see it right there. RSI starting to move into overbought territory. MACD looks a little stretched. We'll see if we get a nice healthy pullback because there has been a huge move up this quarter. That is a healthy thing if it happens. And remember during all this, what was supposed to happen in December? We were supposed to go down, take out the October lows. What was supposed to happen in February, March? We were supposed to go down, take out December lows. Now all of a sudden you got October lows, stepping up to December lows, stepping up to the March lows, right? And so, again, higher lows flowing on through, right? It's just moving up, right? So that's not a bearish thing. Doesn't mean we can't come back down, all right? Very clearly on that. Doesn't mean we can't come back down, right? And so, but I just want to make sure I make that point to you. So if you're wondering, I don't understand why the market keeps moving up in this mess. Again, they try to say forward thinking. The technicals are moving in the bull's direction. And also you got all this stuff with the Fed, right, that I just mentioned right there. Now, Tesla, we said it was coiling, got above that trend line, huge breakout day, 6%, which is enormous on Friday, especially Fridays. A lot of people don't play the market on Friday, but, it had a big, big move, as you can see. And if you look at Tesla, the biggest, here we come up, what do we come to? The 200 area. And this is what gave us trouble last time, 200 to 210, right? You see the big sell-off, the big move up. Right there in that shaded area, that's where, remember you had that put wall up there around 210, another one at 220. And so when we look at the same thing, you can see that big old spike there. That's the 210 area right there, right below it. You're looking around 220. And so we'll see if they'll finally let it break through because there's a lot of calls on Tesla. Everybody's bullish now all of a sudden on Tesla. So once again, we'll see if it moves. Apple, it's boring, but it keeps moving up, right? Another green candle. Again, around the 167 areas, what to watch for. Nothing really matters till you get to that area anyway. RSI is starting to get overbought. And of course, when it gets overbought, obviously, it's not one of those stocks that stays overbought for very long for you to get a pullback. So we'll see on that one. Watch this one. It's a Chinese stock, Alibaba, right? Amazing. The stock goes from oversold to overbought in 10 trading sessions. Look at that. Just skyrocketed right on up. Now, if you look at this one, you can see big gap right there. So is that one going to fill first, or is this big gap going to fill right above it? Okay, and so that's what we're looking out for A lot of people bullish on BABA. And if you go to this right here, this is what people are looking to play out on. Ready? Inverse head and shoulders, left shoulder, head, right shoulder playing out. So that would be a nice move up around the 125 area. You can see the RSI, and this is on the weekly, above the 50 line. And then you got the MACD, which is a terrible circle. Let me draw it bigger. It's actually above the 0 line when I looked at this, because I don't really study BABA too much. This is the first time in 2 whole years that the MACD has been above the 0 line. I think the last time it was like maybe January 3rd of 2021. And so it's been more than 2 years, I guess, right? And so again, look at that. I don't know what the other stocks, but that one in general, just to put it out there to you. We'll see if that plays out. So it's going to be interesting. So if that inverse head and shoulders plays out versus the head and shoulders in the S&P, and again, they don't always play out. Again, you can look at those charts. I showed you, what was it, 2 weeks ago, and I said, here's the bullish chart, here's the bearish chart. Depends on what you want to see and which one you like more and stuff. But, are we due for a healthy little pullback? It would make sense, right? And when do you want to get it? Probably on a short week, going into April and stuff like that. Because, so a lot of the last 2 or 3 days, it's just reposition, whether people are covering their shorts, reposition themselves for the next setup, going to the next quarter in certain stocks, because there were stocks out there have no business being up 10-15% today. I mean, it was, especially on a Friday. That's what's really, when you look at it on a Friday, because a lot of people don't play the market on Friday because they don't want to hold it over the weekend and they don't want anything to do with it, right? And a lot of traders don't do anything on Friday either. And so that's when you kind of take a step back and go, okay, interesting, gotcha, And then when I looked at it, I went scroll down through all the stocks. I mean, just hundreds of stocks. Financials was okay. A lot of them 1 to 2% up, right? Oil stocks, basically flat, but a lot of stuff was really just flat. But then, of course, there's your big 7, right? Microsoft, Apple, just creeping on up, and then Tesla has a huge day, of course. And so, and NVIDIA, it was green again. When I did the members video, I said, I wouldn't short this thing until we get to certain points, and it ain't there yet for me, right? Because I told you, when things go parabolic like that, and you got money, big money, just pushing it up and pushing it up and pushing it up, a lot of people keep trying to short it, and they keep getting crushed in it. So, it's not there yet, and it's definitely going to be coming there, because they're definitely getting overstretched. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. But, that's where we're at right now. Again, we're open Monday through Thursday. Next week, I'll do a video on Sunday setting us up for next week. We don't have to worry about earnings. There's a couple earnings, but nothing major to talk about or anything. But there are certain other things I'll bring to your attention on Sunday, which I'm going to take out of this video because I don't want it to be too long. So anyway, hope you guys have a good weekend. I will see you Sunday. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Don't forget to share the video. I appreciate it, and I'll see you later.